Good morning, YouTubers. May the good Lord bless you. Hope you're having yourself a wonderful day. Hey, it's Friday. It's raining outside, or it has been raining. It's really cool this morning. So I decided that I would make another knife from a spike. Only this time, I'm going to weld a piece of carbon steel into this knife blade so that it will hold a better edge, okay? Now somebody asked me about that, and I'm going to show how to do it in this particular video, how I do it, okay? So stand by. I've already ground the mill scale off of it. Make sure that when you do this stuff, you grind the mill scale off of it, because you're not going to weld anything that sticks really good if you have the mill scale still on the spike. So this right here is a newer spike. The other one I donated to the Historical Society here in Bland County, Virginia. If you're ever in Bland County, Virginia, on Fridays, if they can find a volunteer that'll open the place up, you can go in there and look at some really neat things. And that knife will be one of the things that you will be able to see here in the future, okay? With that, let me get this pull this spike out just a little bit to make it longer. Now we know that our cutting edge is going to be this direction, you guys, okay? When it's all said and done. So we'll want to move some of the handle the very same way. About 4 inches. We're going to put this bottom and top fuller in this. Right there we have it. All right, next thing we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to twist this handle right here, okay? Right above your fuller. And you line that back up just where you started from, you all. Now you all, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to split this piece of steel open. To receive, we got to get this just exactly right, you guys. That's what we're looking for right there. We're not going to go all the way through with it. All right, you all, we're going to take this piece of 1095 carbon steel and we're going to drive it into this opening that I've made in this spike knife, okay, right there, just like that. As soon as I get it hot, we'll drive this in there cold. You have to drive it in that hot metal, you guys. To where it's got its own little pocket to sit in. Okay. Just like that right there. I need to do another reheat on that and do that again. Alright guys, I'm heating it up. I'm getting ready to flux it. What I done was I took my welder and I tacked it down on the end, on both ends of it, so it'll stay in place. Really, really hard without a helper to really hold that thing in place the way you want it. So I tacked it down and I'm bringing it up to where I can put the flux on it. And I'm going to move you guys back so that that stuff don't splatter all over the camera, okay? Yes, I'm going to move you back. So anyway, let's go ahead and flux this. Right here, you guys, I'm using a product called Easy Weld. Easy Weld has got metal particles in it. I don't use it a lot, but on this particular project, I'm going to use it. Now, we're going to stick this in the fire. You can see it's got a separation right here too. I didn't get that completely straight. So, when we stick it in the fire, make sure that you stick this carbon steel straight up in the fire, okay? Like this. Not like this or like this. Because your carbon steel will come to the welding heat before this low carbon steel will. So you don't want to burn it up. So we're going to stick it in the fire. We're going to bring it up to the welding heat. Alright you guys, very quickly. Let's go back to the flux. Let that flux melt. Now we're going to go back to the fire. Now when you bring this particular piece of item out of the fire, you guys, and you're going to, you know you're welding that piece of steel in there, make sure you turn it the way that blade is going to go so that you squirt out any of the fluxes and any of the trash that's going to try to mess up your weld, okay? Shouldn't take it that long. Right there it is. This is pretty thin, you guys, so you got to really watch and make sure that you're not burning that, okay? Here we go. I always do 3 fluxes on mine, you guys, to make sure. So that's what we're going to do right here. Now when you're joining high carbon to low carbon steel, you just have to watch what's going on with your high carbon steel while you're forging it, because you can burn the stuff completely up before you even know it. So pay close attention to it when you have it in your fire. If you see sparks flying, I'll guarantee you that your high carbon steel is starting to burn before anything else happens, okay? Go ahead and straighten this right here. See how I straightened it out, you guys? Now we're drawing, here's your high carbon steel, there's your handle. Remember how I showed you on the last one? So you're drawing your blade out that direction, if that's what you want to do. Here you guys, I'm trying to get the back side equal. All right, you all, cut that off. And I wasted just a little bit of the tip of that right there. But that's still a pretty decent blade. Now let me grind it down some so that you guys can see it, okay? All right, you all, do this before you harden it, okay? I got enough fire over there to harden this thing. That's the cool thing about a spike. Them suckers is hard to hold in a vise for that nasty handle they got on them. There's a place that's harder than the rest of it, you guys. Hear how that's squeaking? And down for that initial edge. All right, y'all ready for the fire? All right, you all, here we go. There's what we come up with. Now we have a high carbon edge on this spike knife. Somebody said something about that in the last video that I did. Now, let me show you something right here, you guys. See that streak right there? That's where my carbon steel did not stick to the crack that I had made in this. I'll show you that, okay? Whatever reason, that will happen to you. But that's still going to work, okay? It's still, the rest of it's still forged welded in there good. But that one little spot right there, I've got separation. Now I could take a welder and just weld that up, but I'm not going to do it. One of the reasons, guys, that I like to do this kind of stuff right here is, if you call yourself a blacksmith and you're not learning every time you make something, you're really not blacksmithing. Because you cannot take a hammer and a piece of metal and do the very same thing over and over again and get the same exact result. But that's the way this one looks, you guys. The handle is 4.5 inches. The blade is 5.5 inches. So where that piece was extruding out and not forged weld, I had to cut that completely off, okay? But other than that little crack right there, which, like I say, I could hide it with the welder, I'm not going to do it. That's the way this one's going to go down in history. With that, you all, may the good Lord bless you. I hope you have yourself a wonderful weekend.